Hello everybody, and welcome back to Tiny Island Maine page. I wanted to say thank you to everybody that's watching, whether you're new or old, and I appreciate you being here and sharing your time in my little corner of YouTube land. All right, so this is probably one of my very smallest and my very oldest knife. This was given to me, like many of you out there, I'm sure. A loved one gave this to me, my grandfather. And he was a guy that spoke broken English and came over here with absolutely nothing from the old country in Italy and built a life for himself. And at one point he kept this to clean out his pipe or cut the end off of his cigar, whatever it was. And the reason I've got this out is because this is the tiniest, smallest knife that I have. And I'm going to use this knife to open this package, which has what is commonly known as a bruiser in it. Now, this is not a gigantic bruiser. This is actually a little smaller than what this gentleman usually produces, but it's something new he was trying. This is a prototype, so I'm the guinea pig to try it out, but I'll tell you a little more as we go along. But Dave was an absolute pleasure to work with. So we'll open the big blade. This is a two-blader, by the way. Let's see if I can get the other one. And I'm going to guess this knife is at least 70 years old, because I've had it for a very long time, and I'm sure he had it for a while before him. And if you know, I think this is actually an American-made knife. It looks like it says hammer on the tang here. I can't really see it or get you a good angle light-wise, but I know that Hammer used to make a lot of knives that were readily available, with especially this type of iced looking material for the handle. And look at that bail. I can't believe it's held up all these. Okay, enough about that. So let's cut this package open with my daintiest knife. And I do occasionally take this out and use it. So I do, give it a little strop every now and then so it has a decent working edge. Okay. Close that up for safety. Push that out a little bit. And again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I am no pro at this. I am just a total amateur. Hold on a second. That likes farting around with knives and that stuff. So here's the box. We did an unbelievable job of taping it, but I've got to also open it a little bit off camera, because he put my name and address, and as much as I love everybody, you don't need to know who I am. So let's get this off. Okay. Oh boy, sorry for all the... Here, take a look at that in the meantime. That's a nice little leather sheath slip that I ordered a little while ago. That's my second one from Beard and Owl. They do very nice work if you have a knife that you want to protect. Okay, so we're almost done here. Boy, that's a lot. Dave knows how to tape up his packages. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Boy, okay, sorry for all that. And if I could do editing better, you might not see that, but I doubt it. So, there it says LP Proto, which stands for Left Pocket Prototype. he's considering this your secondary knife. For me, it'll probably be my first right-hand pocket carry, because I will probably consider this a good sized knife for myself. Okay, let's take one more peek here. We got all this side. There we go. Okay, so here's the inside. So Dave is also known as Satu Dave, and also is the Barefoot Bruiser. And this is the packaging that he uses to present his knives. It's made by SOE, Special Operations Equipment. Look them up online. They make really good stuff, all made in the USA. And he's even included a little bit of extra hardware in there. If look at this, some bearings, there's some other washers, and some Torx screws if I choose to use those. Thanks for those options, Dave. I deeply appreciate it. Okay, so now we're gonna zip this open. Beautiful quality, and nice little package. He wrapped it in here. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There's a little card. Let's see what this says. Okay, so this is the birth certificate. Satu Dave, he made it on 4/14/26, left pocket proto number 1, 3V belt satin. We'll talk about that in a second. 14-inch grind on the front, an 8-inch main grind, chameleon eye and fuller, and a titanium frame, clip, and backspacer, 6AL4V titanium. So thank you for that, and that's what his logo looks like. He has a wonderful, wonderful channel, and he's just a great down-to-earth guy that gets on, and as he likes to say, it's a BS session, and he talks about all things knives and gets into a little personal stuff here and there. Nothing heavy. He's got a very positive attitude. He's a real pleasure to listen to. Look at how pretty that towel is. Man, that's nice. Nice and fluffy, too. Okay, and there it is. So this is the small version of his Origin. This is kind of his claim to fame. He does it a few different ways, but I love this. He calls this a chameleon eye. Right here, see how it looks like a chameleon's eye? And I think it looks great. And then on the back, he put this fuller, a bull machine with a bull tool, I guess. I don't know exactly all of it, but he made just about every single bit of this knife, and from the blade, and forged it and cryo treated it and sent me pictures along the way, and we went back and forth and talked a lot. And it's heavy. We'll weigh in a minute, but his products are made to be used in a big way. He is not shy about saying that these are bruisers for a reason, so that they can be put to use. Let's just take a look at it. Is 5 inches handle, left to right. Push this down a little bit, and let's give it a flick. Oh, hold on, let me get off of the clip. The detent, wow, hold on. I'm gonna have to get used to this. Well, I'm gonna cheat and open it by hand. That is a serious detent. Look at that tanto, that compound grind. That is just beautiful. Now, usually, he sandblasts everything. The finish that you see here inside the fuller and inside the chameleon eye is usually how the blade looks. And I talked to him a little bit and had just mentioned that I liked a satin finish usually, even though it's a user. And we talked, we went back and forth a little bit, and he came through and did a Very, very nice job. Now, he readily admits that this has a few flaws to it. My eye, I'm probably not going to really be able to tell, but in his eye, he said there'll never be another one like it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me and what I use knives for and what I'm like, this I'm sure will be fine. It's not going to be a collector's piece. I'm going to, just like all my other stuff, I'm going to use it. So let's take a look at it full open. So we put it right there. You got 3.5 inch on the cutting edge, 3 3/4 blade length, and then overall length 8 and 1, 2, 3. It's almost 8 3/4. Let me get. Oops, sorry for the camera work there. Get down close. Yeah, 8 7/8. It looks like. So just shy of 9. So to give this a comparison to some of the other bigger knives I have, here's my Smart & Hassie folder, which is pretty darn close in length. The blade might be just a touch longer. The handle's about the same. There's one for you. Here's my McNeese Dixon. Pretty close overall. Well, that's good. And then here's a Microtech for you that is a nice SOCOM Elite. Again, maybe just a tiny bit more on the handle and overall length altogether. But this is something that I will definitely use. Now in the hand, wow, that feels great. Take a look at how he has this handle with the nice curve here for your fingers to come in. Then down here it swells in your palm and comes back to the edge. Here's the titanium back spacer. Beautiful. Full open design. You can see that there's brass washers in there. I believe those are brass washers. Then you got the nice big pocket clip, which again, he makes this out of a solid piece and machines it. He's a machinist extraordinaire. And if, again, you watch his program, he doesn't really show himself working as far as I've seen, but he talks a lot about it and shows pieces as they come along and what he's doing with them. And I really appreciate that. And this has internal stop pins. You don't see a bar back there, a stop pin. It's all like that. All right, now there's the lockup, which looks super duper. And when I go like this, you can see the pin as well, the pivot ball right there. Let's see if I can get some light on it. Right there. Right there's the pivot ball. You can kind of see it. Okay, so we'll close it. Boy, that's nice and easy. With a little work, it goes. Let me try the bar here on the back. Okay, that's better. All right, and I'm going to use his very handsome towel here. Clean the blade. Boy, that looks good. Oh, that shines up beautiful. I know it'll probably get some scratches and everything. That's fine, but I love that satin look. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. So, it's going to take, I don't know, a couple of dozen flicks to get used to it, I think. But that is, boy, when the tension comes off of the blade, it goes right down. Yeah, that fuller is nice. Okay, now, let me close up these other guys. You saw some. Oh, here, I wanted to do the Nick Shabazz special. There's my Delica for size comparison. Beep. Little guy. That's got the K390 steel. This is, Such a great. You want to gift somebody a knife, even if it's just the VG10. This Delica is a great knife for anybody that's looking to get into knives or give somebody a knife gift. That's super. Okay, let's close that. Close that. Close this. So, we saw the certificate of origin. We saw the beautiful packaging it comes in. We saw that it's a nice thick blade with a solid tip that will take some use. And again, I strongly urge you to go to the channel Barefoot Bruisers, and if you don't already, learn a little bit more about Dave and what a great guy he is and how down to earth he is, and just super. All right, now I'm sure this is sharpened nicely, but we shall give it a little test. Piece of paper. And that's nice too. See, there's a flat spot here. Not a choil, but a flat spot that is great to choke up on. That's good. I had talked about maybe, I wasn't sure. I really said to Dave as we were doing this, I said, look, I'm going to throw out some stuff. I've never custom ordered a knife. I barely know what to ask for. I just know I like your style. And his regular origins are probably another 2 inches longer than this, I'm guessing. They're real Bruisers. That's the real deal. So just imagine this, a little taller, a little longer, a little bit, I bet the stock for the handles might even be a little bit thicker, the titanium. But I threw out a few things, and he said, yeah, we can do that, we can do that. That might not be the best thing for this particular knife. And I just said, you're the boss. Whatever you say is cool with me. And, hey, it's just the first one. We'll probably do another. I did ask a little bit about jimping here. Is this a question mark? And he suggested no. He said, I think you'll be fine without it. And I took his word, and he's fine with it. He's absolutely right. So it just is really super. Okay, cut time. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Super. And I only have one other knife that's 3V, but I've done a lot of research on it, and 3V is a real good, strong steel that can take the abuse. So hopefully this will do exactly what I want. And again, I am not overly hard on knives, but I know that things like all of these, actually, I've seen them all take some abuse online. Especially this. I've told you about this before. Go on the Microtech site or just put in SOCOM Elite Torture Test, and the guy from there puts this through ever living hell, and it just keeps coming back. It's really something that sold me on it, and it's a great knife. You know what? I've got sorry to keep going here, but I've got the scale. I might as well check it out while we're here, just to see what it's like. And while we're waiting for this to do, I'm going to talk about, last time I talked about the Shriners as a charity, and thank you for all the people that either sent me nice messages on Instagram or whatever, and told me a few personal stories about how the Shriners helped them out or their family member in life. That was really very touching. Thank you. That's why we do it. And this time I'm going to talk about a group called Operation Delta Dog. Operation Delta Dog. They're out of New Hampshire. Give them a check. They train dogs to be companions for veterans with PTSD and other problems. And they are just fantastic. I know a few of the people that work there personally, and they are wonderful people, and the projects that they do to help out our veterans is just really something else. And when the dog flunks out of the class, they don't make it for some reason, they find good homes for them. So the charity that I'm talking about this time is Operation Delta Dog. Check them out. Give them some love. Okay, so just to start, here's the Delica. 2.125, a little over 2.25 ounces, 2.28 ounces. Here's the Spartan Harsey. Take off for the leather tab there. 6.6 6.06 ounces. My green grenade, the Dixon, 5.23 ounces if we round up. And my LP prototype, 8.11 ounces. And it doesn't even really feel like it. It feels pretty good. Yes, it's a little heavier. I'm going to try it with wrist. Nope. Oh, man. Okay. I can't get it. I can do the bull, but it's going to take me some practice on the chameleon. He was almost talking about this was part of the quote-unquote defect that he was talking about, but when he made the blade, it wasn't fit exactly right, and he was thinking, oh, maybe I could put a thing in there to make it a front flipper kind of thing, but he said no, and again, that's okay. I'm sure this is going to make me very happy, and my next generation, this will get passed on. So there's the left pocket prototype, the LP1 prototype. Never another one like it. Total original, and I'm happy to be the owner. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be nice to other people, and peace out.